Commentary Booth is a show for media lovers by media lovers just like you. If you want to support the show, go to pariomagazine.com.au. The other show we checked out was the TV miniseries The Girl From Plainville, which is now streaming on Stan. What was your impressions of this?
Right. Like I've seen it, like the trailers for it just pop up as advertisements, and I never really paid much attention to it. I had like Girl, I had no idea what it was about. To be honest with you. Until that happened years ago. Like I remember seeing on the news, like when the girlfriend told her boyfriend to kill himself. Like we all you heard about that on the news.
Yep.
Now there's a documentary for it.
Yes.
Called I Love You Now Die.
Yep.
I didn't know about that, and I watched the show first. You did it the other way around, yeah?
Yeah, so I watched I Love You Now Die on binge a couple of years ago when it like first came out. And
so this all happened in what, 2013 to 2017 it all unfolded?
So the suicide happened in 2014 and she was convicted in 2017.
So I pretty much knew next to nothing about it other than what I heard on the news at the time. Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed thoughts about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so it's basically, it follows the suicide of Conrad Roy after thousands of messages between him and Michelle Carter, and ultimately she tells him to get back in the car and finish his suicide attempt, and eventually gets convicted of involuntary manslaughter. But for me, the show, The Girl From Plainville, was not good. Like, it wasn't.
No, it tried. I think it tried too hard.
It tried to catch that emotional angle with you, and it didn't really catch me.
Yeah.
Felt super slow. And I think because I'd seen the documentary series as well, kind of knew how everything was going to play out, which obviously
and
didn't help me in terms of
that's what I found too. I didn't know what was going to happen or what was going to unfold, and I think that's what kept me interested in the show. If I knew everything, I would have turned it off.
Yeah, I struggled to finish it. I only finished it because I knew we were going to talk about it.
So I got through it. I got through it because I wanted to know what was going to happen. But it's just another one. They keep popping up. It's another one that could have gotten away with like a 3-part miniseries or a feature length. There's no way this needed to be 8 to 10 episodes.
Like I think it's like 7 episodes or something, isn't it?
It pretty much dragged out the narrative of like Michelle just craving attention, and it was like pretty much a documentary about Michelle, not the boy that killed himself.
8 episodes, and yeah, it definitely did not need to be 8 episodes.
Could have been like 3 longer episodes because like I said, dragged out, pushing that narrative of Michelle's quest for attention.
Yep, which I guess was a big part of sort of the whole storyline, but yeah, we didn't need 8 episodes of it. Like we could have got away with 4. I think 4 would have been plenty.
And it was confusing too. There was a lot of backtracking, and it just jump scenes, like, and they didn't. Like, it was hard to tell that they were jumping back in time. Like the time was all over the place.
Yeah, like
very hard to follow.
There's time jumps backwards and forwards.
Conrad's character,
and then there's also moments where they're blending Michelle's imagination and memories.
I can't tell what is real, what is fake. Yeah. Present time Michelle, and then that she's like by herself, then her subconscious, like, she's in her head of that. And they bring in Conrad and like into the room with her, and she's having conversation with him, but he's not there. But it just seems so real, like he is there.
Yep. Yeah, like it was so hard to tell what's real.
I hated every time they did that. I'm like,
where in the timeline it's
the only time I did like that was the scene at the end in the bar. And it was almost real, like what could have been. And like, she almost didn't remember it because it was like, what, 10 years later, like Michelle grown up. I thought that was probably the best part of it, the whole thing right then. And it was like a big, what could have been moment. So that sort of was a bit of a feel good about it, I guess, if you can say that. But there's another one of those ones too. Like, how do these get approval from like the families? Like, surely they have to, do they just let them run with it? Or what's the go? Or is it because it's like gone to the courts, it's been dealt with, and that's just free reign?
I guess, yeah, because the story,
they'd have to consult.
I guess, yeah, just because it's been in the courts, it's kind of public domain now.
So it's anybody's, yeah.
Yeah, like you would think they would probably want to contact Conrad's family and be like, "You guys okay if we do this?" Like,
yeah,
it's not even 5 years ago that this kid killed himself.
A little bit tasteless, wasn't it?
Just over. Yeah. What did you think of Elle Fanning's performance as Michelle Carter?
I was actually going to touch on that. They casted this to perfection. That was one thing I will say. Everyone all the actors look exactly like who they were portraying. Especially Michelle Carter. I couldn't believe it. Was uncanny how well they did that. Yeah,
I thought her performance was
very good acting.
I thought it was like a little bit cringy at times, but I think that's kind of the point.
I think that's
with
what it was,
Michelle's character.
Yeah, that was meant to be.
Because she was really cringy at times.
She was playing a cringy role. She was very cringy. Like the narrative that this all happened and it played out because she just wanted to bring attention to herself is absolutely psychotic.
Mm-hmm. Like the whole baseball, the baseball fundraiser and stuff.
Baseball tournament, and she made a comment to one of her friends like, "Oh, I'm so popular now," or like, "I'm so famous now," or something like that. I'm like, whoa, like that's like, not, if your like lover just killed himself, these are not things you are thinking of. Like, these aren't the first thoughts in your head. Like, wow, I'm so famous now because of this. Are you kidding me?
Even Conrad's best friends are like, why are we having this fundraiser in your hometown? Like, Conrad never went there. Why are we not having it in his hometown where all his friends are that are going to want to support him? Very weird situation.
Chloe Savini. Big fan of Chloe Savini.
Oh, yep. As
she
the
plays
mum.
Conrad's mother.
Yep.
Yeah. Another one who was casted very well. But very different role for her. I haven't seen her in anything in recent years. A long time.
What else is she in?
She plays the secretary to in American Psycho.
Okay. Yep.
For starters. She's just a pop culture icon.
After you went back after watching the series and then watched the documentary, what did you think of the documentary series?
Well, so I was going to get to that. I only got like an episode and a half in. I had to turn it off. I couldn't watch it.
It's
so
rough.
I think that would have.
It's real heavy.
I think just because it wasn't, it dragged on a lot. But yeah, it was very good and very informative. But like we touched on earlier, you need to watch one of these and one of these only, not both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
See, where you said you watched the documentary first and you struggled to get through the series, I watched the series first and struggled to get through documentaries. It's honest. It's not a groundbreakingly exciting murder mystery like investigation story. Like, this guy killed himself. His chick was just like texting him saying, "Oh yeah, you should do it. That's cool." Like, it's not really that exciting when you think about it. It's just
it's just a messed up thing that teenagers do. I guess
such a big the crime was so unknown, and I think it's just the trial is what captivated us all. And we're just watching this for the trial. We don't really care about either of their backstories, essentially, do we? And that's what they tried to invest us in.
Yeah.
Well, they just tried to milk Michelle Carter's life story, and it wasn't really that exciting. She's just, I reckon, like just your run-of-the-mill essentially.
So yeah, I would recommend watching the documentary that's only 2 episodes rather than 8 episodes of the TV series.
Well, I should have just finished it. I was only an episode and a half in. I was like, oh, this is going to drag on for 6 episodes. I should have finished it.
It's 2 episodes. One's 58 minutes and one's an hour 15.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would recommend watching that over
I'll turn it off
8 hours of a TV show.
I was like, I'm not sitting through this. Yeah. Like I said, the documentary, from what I've seen, I got straight into it as well. It told you what needed to turn. Crime scene photos too, which is the thing everyone wants to see, sickeningly. And it just showed you what you wanted. Had interviews from the parents, the families. Yeah,
it's a super like sad, messed up story, but nothing like
very.
It's not like The Staircase where it like gets really weird and wacky at times. Like this one is just sad.
Yeah. It's like I said, it was just a big unknown because something like this has never really been convicted of before, and then up coming. I think the state of Massachusetts made a law after this called Conrad's Law or Conrad's Rule.
Yep.
So it convicts assisted death or assisted suicide.
Yep. Yeah, basically anyone that sort of encourages someone else to commit suicide is now liable, really, which is concerning, but I guess a good thing. You don't want people to be encouraging people to kill themselves like Michelle did,
especially in this day of day and age of vulnerability online and trolls and whatnot.
Oh yeah, especially
I think what I found I was hitting it out of the park the first few episodes, and I really found it hard to once it in the middle it started to plateau and really started to drag out. I was like, this is
those middle few episodes really stretch it out.
It was draining. Like,
you're just sitting there like, can we just get to the trial? We don't need all this time of Michelle's backstory and Conrad's backstory. Like, let's just get to the trial part. Like, that's the part we want. And then the trial is over in like an episode and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Out of all the
pacing was real.
All the
weird.
true crime out there, that they actually have real documentaries on, they've picked a bit of a boring one to make a series out of. I think drama series. There's definitely better options out there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it didn't hit the mark. Yeah. Glad we agree.
So, overall, what would be your top recommendation for the week?
Yeah, Windfall's sick, man. It's a perfect, especially the weather as it is at the moment, perfect Saturday night at home movie. Very fun, easy watch. It's not going to scare you.
No, like, it's a thriller, but it's not a scary thriller.
Yeah, it's definitely not a thriller. Yeah, no, it was definitely a fun watch.
Yeah, I'm the same. I highly recommend Windfall. Like I said, blew away all of my expectations. So everyone needs to check it out. Like it doesn't seem to be getting as much hype as I was sort of expecting after watching it.
This will spread the word, I think.
Yep. Another one of our random sleeper picks that will get picked up in 6 months' time.
6 months? Well, it was taboo. It took them years.
It took them like 2 years, yeah.
Hope we get more of that soon too.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thank you everyone for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services and on YouTube. You can follow Blake on Twitter at Captain Crumbs with a Z, and you can follow me on social media at JamieApps Media and at Pario Magazine. The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of JamieApps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/JamieApps Media. The following people supported at the community support group level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support. Brian and June Hart, Blake Robinson, Rena Renee, Courtney Paulson, Darren Hatcliffe, Jackson Carr, and Tracy Apps.